Hey viewers, QuirkDude76 here. Well, today we finally come to an end to the Mortal Kombat trilogy reviews, as now we're going to be talking about the latest movie and the reboot. And considering that Mortal Kombat 2 is coming out very soon, I think it's about time we take a look at the very first reboot, Mortal Kombat, which came out in 2021 and is directed by Simon McQuoid. This movie follows no other video game characters. So we don't follow a Liu Kang, we don't follow Johnny Cage, but that's next time, of course. But we instead focus on a new movie character and MMA fighter and proud dad himself, Cole Young, played by Lewis Tan, who has not only a special birthmark, but is also the great descendant of Scorpion. But it turns out Sub-Zero is chasing his family, as not only did Sub-Zero kill Hanzo Hasashi, or in this case Scorpion, but is aiming to kill every last Earthrealm combatant and also to an extent Cole Young and his family. So Cole Young is now aided by Special Forces agent Sonya Blade, played by Jessica McName. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. And Kano, played by Joss Lawson. And Shaolin monks Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and the Thunder God Raiden, played by Tanobu Asano. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, as they fight the evil Shang Tsung, played by Chin Han and his deadly gang of villains. Yeah, this plot's kind of fucking fucked up, but I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, it's a real step up from the 90s movies, where I hated the 90s films for a good reason. Mortal Kombat 2021 is a bit of a different story. Now, by that point, I was playing the video games, and as I mentioned before, I never played Mortal Kombat 9, but I did play Mortal Kombat 10 and 11. And it was around that time when the first rebooted movie was coming out, and I wasn't old enough to see it, but I was able to see it on HBO Max. But ever since then I've become a huge fan of the franchise, definitely so now with Mortal Kombat 1. So what are my thoughts on this movie? I think it's good. Definitely better than the 90s films. I'll just say it right there. Like, look, yes, this movie is not a masterpiece. It is nowhere near leagues of Oscar-worthy attention, because, none of these movies are. But for what you're getting a very good representation of the video games, specifically the NetherRealm games. I shit you not. They quite literally put the R and R-rated to the max. This is definitely an R-rated movie, and that is the one thing I always wanted. I never liked the fact that Mortal Kombat 95 or 97 were PG-13 movies. Yes, I know times have changed, but back then, come on. We could have just at least done something like Spawn or like anything like from RoboCop or Terminator. Like, come on, let's amp it up a little bit. Here, we're amping it up to the max, and I think it's done perfectly. And yeah, sure, while the characters seem a little bit dull, it is nice to know that Simon McQuoid, who directed this movie, and the actors were actually good fans of the games, and I really do appreciate where they were coming from. Lewis Tan is Cole Young, and yeah, sure, Cole Young is hit or miss among people. I'm okay with Cole Young as a character. Yeah, sure, he can come off as a bit whiny in terms of not wanting to fight, self-doubting himself to the max. But hey, he's the main character. At least expect him to self-doubt himself. Yeah, sure, it does get annoying to a point where you really ask, why the fuck are you here? But, there's a lot more that I wish they could have done more with this character. And if he dies in Mortal Kombat 2, that would just be hilarious. But what's also kind of funny is that Lewis Tan was supposed to play Kung Jin in the live-action web series Mortal Kombat Legends, where I believe they were going to adapt the Mortal Kombat 10 video game, and Lewis Tan was supposed to play Kung Jin, but the show got canceled. So that does suck. So it really does nice to see him back in action. Now, what about the other characters? Well, outside of his family, the other characters are just okay at best. I mean, Sonya Blade is okay. I mean, Jessica McNamee, yet again, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, but at least she does better than Bridget Wilson, who was just so bland in the 95 film. And one of my favorite parts, personally, is Josh Lawson as Kano. And, Josh Lawson really just portrayed that dickhead, cocky persona Kano is. He really just put that Australian accent to a T, and I think he's used a lot more. I actually laughed at a few of his jokes. Yeah, sure, they may not be as funny, but for what you're getting, it's neat. At least finally Raiden is played by an Asian man, but I will admit Raiden is definitely one of the most weakest parts of this movie. Now, yes, I hate Christopher Lambert, and I do not want to see Christopher Lambert ever again in the role of Raiden. Like, that dude does not need to be Raiden. But, Raiden is, he's fine. I hope in Mortal Kombat 2 he's doing a lot much more. You got Ludi Lin as Liu Kang, and, Liu Kang was neat. I mean, he doesn't do much in the film alongside with Kung Lao, which I'm not gonna mention because, Kung Lao doesn't even do that much either. And it does suck. I really do wish that we got more of these characters, and I'm pretty sure we're getting more in Mortal Kombat 2, but who knows? But what's also kind of funny is I know Lyndon Liu, Ludi Lin, who, fun fact, was actually the Black Ranger in the 2017 Power Rangers movie, which, hey, that's neat. Now, you do have the main villain of the film, John Hangs Taslim, who is Sub-Zero. And, he is terrifying as Sub-Zero. Gone were the days where Sub-Zero and Scorpion were just bodyguards for Shang Tsung. Now, they are the real fucking deal. And, they really put it to the test. And both him and Hiroyuki Sanada, who played Scorpion, they have some of the best action sequences in the film. Definitely one of the best parts of this movie is the first 5 to 10 minutes with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It's definitely an action-filled and gory fight, and definitely a well-directed sequence. And it's just fun. Now, what about Shang Tsung? Well, unfortunately, Hiroyuki Takawa couldn't come back, which does suck. But in the role, we have Chin Han, who plays Shang Tsung. And unfortunately, Shang Tsung doesn't really do much in this film. Much like Raiden, he really isn't there as much and is mostly there for the preparations for the sequel. But I really do wish he does more in the sequel, which I think he is. Now, what are some things that I also like about this movie? Well, I gotta be honest, it's the action. Unlike the action in Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Annihilation would look kind of terrible. I mean, Mortal Kombat 95 actually had some really good action sequences, and I'm not going to take that away, but outside of that, Mortal Kombat Annihilation has some of the worst action sequences of all time. Here, they're bright as day, and are action-packed. My 3 main highlights are the fight with Scorpion and Sub-Zero at the beginning of the film, Cole Young, Sonya Blade, and Kano versus Reptile, which, yes, Reptile is more lizard-like, but hey, I don't care. And the final battle with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Definitely one of my favorite fights, and I'm so glad that we got these costumes in Mortal Kombat 1. Some other things I really do like about this film is just the gore, too. This movie is like a gore fest. Like, I love how they were able to use the elements of the video games and just make them work. Whether it's the fatalities or Kung Lao saying flawless victory, or even them jabbing in some secret Easter eggs in the film. That was actually neat. So, yeah, this movie is good for the most part. I think it's definitely worth my time. For the most part. This movie really isn't good. I gotta be honest. This movie isn't good. This is a very, very okay movie and definitely not one of the best video game movies ever made. Now look, I think it's about time I do also mention how I felt about the 95 film, where I came off very negative in that film, when reviewing that film. And I gotta be honest, I think I'm starting to miss some of its charm. Now look, I still don't like the 95 film. I think it's definitely one of the worst video game movies. But for what it's worth, it actually had some decent charm. And, for what it's worth, I guess it is a guilty pleasure. Here, Jesus Christ, is it kind of boring. The second act, drags on forever. And the whole Arcana thing with these characters having these superpowers is so fucking stupid. Like, yeah, sure, we need an understanding of how these characters have abilities. But why the fuck are you telling me how did Kung Lao get in, okay, not Kung Lao, but you mean to tell me these Arcana things are just how they get superpowers? I'm sorry, but that's fucking stupid. Like, look, you can at least say how these characters get their powers, but like by just having a tattoo on their arms or wherever they are, like, what the fuck? It's stupid. It's just so stupid. Um, and I guess I also just don't like Cole Young too. I mean, I know I did say that I'm okay with Cole Young, but holy shit, this dude never shut up with his constant complaining. It wasn't until his fight with Goro, which, yes, Goro is in this film, and, Goro doesn't really look bad, but he doesn't look good either. I really wish they would have done more special effects. But, yeah. But, I mean, yes, yet again, I hate the fact that Cole Young constantly complains and doubts himself. Like, look, I can understand why Izuku Midoriya doubts himself, because he's a teenager, and I'm pretty sure that's not a fair comparison, but at least Izuku Midoriya has friends. This dude literally fucking complains so many times that even Raiden was fed up with him. So, maybe the sequel would, bump up his character more, give him more confidence, but considering that movie is going to focus on Katana and Johnny Cage, I don't know. But, yeah, those are my overall thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2021. Overall, I think the movie's okay. Definitely not one of the better video game movies. In fact, I still think Sonic the Hedgehog beats Mortal Kombat to a pulp. But, I mean, overall, for what you're getting a good movie. Like, a genuine good movie. At least here, they really do amp up the gore with it. They have some fantastic action, some neat characters, and, it's a good movie. Genuinely a good movie for Mortal Kombat fans. But I will say, some of the characters will annoy you. The second act will drag on forever. And the whole Arcana thing will just make you lose your mind. So in my opinion, I give Mortal Kombat 2021 a good 4 out of 10. Definitely not good, but I still have some kind of guilty pleasure for it. And, I think it still beats the 95 and Annihilation far beyond. So that's my review on Mortal Kombat 2021. Definitely not a good movie, but I still find it to be like a guilty pleasure. Now, with Mortal Kombat 2 coming out, and what are my thoughts on this? I hope it's good. I hope it fixes the problems people had with the first film, and amp up a little bit with the special effects, make things a little bit more gory, and just have a good story at least. Have Mortal Kombat have a good story for once, people. But yeah, so expect a review of Mortal Kombat 2 if I have the time. But until then, this is QuirkDude76 signing off.